And I am inviting in and claiming wisdom, authenticity, going with the flow, and thankfulness. I am complete.
I have begun the process, taking us live.
Okay, great. Can I get co-host?
Yes. Once we this is
Sure,
complete, I give it to you.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay, and so we are live on Facebook. So you can greet Facebook, Claudette.
Greetings, my Facebook family. From Wake Up Everybody, the virtual community, we're welcoming you to day 305, where our session
Peace
topic
and
is
blessings, family.
Empower the Scene. My name is Claudette Joy Spence, and I will be the main facilitator, the face that you will see today, as we journey through some communication skills and techniques for keeping joy in your life, sustainable joy. Welcome, family. Greetings from everyone.
Good morning, family. I apologize for the break in the song. I realized that it was not attached to the volume, so my apologies for that. And we are coming right back to it. And I will rewind. Let's hear this song this morning. We need this song this morning.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Claudette, you're muted.
Welcome, welcome, everybody. You heard that alarm clock, or maybe you heard the rooster crowing. Rise up this morning as we join the Woo family. Wake up, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about communications and how we are on the scene. So welcome to family on Zoom. Welcome to family on Facebook. Uh, we have a dynamic presentation prepared for you. My name is Claudette Joy Spence, and I will be the facilitator this morning. And I say the facilitator, but I am the one whose face you will see in front of the camera. In production, they call us talent. So I'm the talent in front of the camera. And we have three magnificent talents behind the camera. Brother John Carl, Sister Nija, and Sister Charmaine will be working with me. And so, as a team, we're going to make this happen for you. So, we're here to learn together, to grow together. I will be sharing with you information that will help you communicate with us with an open mind and an open heart and see what we can learn together here. Are we good with that? Give me a thumbs up. Let's see that in the chat that you're good with that so we can proceed in that mode. Now, you may want to take a couple of seconds and get maybe some writing instrument and your keyboard, your pen, paper, crayon, whatever it is that you use to take notes, because you may want to take some notes. Huh? We will be putting many things in the chat. We will be taking you through some activities. I'm going to be asking you some questions, getting your responses. We're going to talk about them. Are we good? All right, so I'm going to give you about 10 seconds or so, maybe to move away from your station and get your writing instruments and come back. You may also want to get your favorite beverage with you. It's a beautiful chat. Think of me as Auntie Claudette Joy, and we're just having, I've invited you into my home, and we are having a chat in the room in my home. So welcome. Uh, Brother John Carl, Sister Nigel, Sister Charmaine, are there any comments in the chat at this time that we would want to take a look at before I dive into the kernel of my presentation?
You're doing
The
great.
comments,
There are no questions in the chat as yet. Everyone is just waking up and we're ready for you. So,
Okay. Yeah. You know, when I taught at the university, I had a class that began at 7 a.m. and the students were always there on time. So I appreciate students being on time, and I appreciate our participants being here at 7 o'clock. You can get the early rise energy. So communications, what is it? Today I'll be sharing with you some insights that I've learned from my personal experience. You know, I mess up, I cry, I ache, I learn. Hopefully you don't have to go through all of those, or maybe if you have, we can share how we've maneuvered through communicating so that you can get sustainable joy. I think I'm at a point in my life where I can sustain my joy no matter what comes. Yeah, I have some moments when it doesn't really roll, but I can quickly get back to that and reclaim that. So what is communications? I'm going to ask you three questions right now, and please promise me that you're not going to Google it. Or if you're old school like me and you have a dictionary in your library or close by, you're not going to check into the dictionary. What is communications? I'd like you to make a note of that. You can write it in the chat if you would like. What are the reasons we communicate? What are the reasons we communicate? And the third one right now is when we say or we hear someone say, it's all about communications. I'm sure you've heard that somewhere. What do you mean, or what do you think the speaker means when they say it's all about communications? So, what is communications? No Google or dictionary search, or maybe there's another app out there that can give you that information with which I'm not familiar. Don't pull one on me, okay? What are the reasons we communicate? And you can type that in the chat. And when we say, or we hear someone say, oh, it's all about communications, what do you mean when you say it? Or what do you think they mean when you hear that being said? All right. I am ready to listen listen to your contributions about what you think about these things. My team,
Yes, Claudette. Um, so let's see. We have some responses here in the chat. I see Amelia. Amelia has several responses, how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others. Um, we have Afuya, who said, reasons we communicate to convey information. Cassie says, communication to understand the, the message to provide. Wait, to understand the message to provide. Hearing, listening, and understanding. We can actually have Amelia, if she doesn't mind, coming off mute and just sharing a little bit more about communication as she wrote in the chat.
thank you, Brother John Carl. Hi, Sister Amelia. Will you share with us?
Good morning, Sister Claudette, and good morning, Group community.
Good morning.
Yes. So to communication, I feel happens in so many different ways. It's how we relate to ourselves, and are we understanding where we're standing in the way that we communicate, and then how we relate to others. And it can come in so many different forms: nonverbal, verbal, eye contact, so many different forms. And then we communicate to understand information as well as to be understood.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, if this session had not been scheduled this way, I would ask our admin team to just flip the course over to you for you to lead that, because you're going down the path that it had come to me to share with you. Yes, we communicate so because we think we have something that is of value that we want to share with the other or with ourselves. You're absolutely right. And during our time together this morning, I will go through both pieces and show how they're integrated and how we may balance them. Yes, we communicate to understand, and so that we can also be understood. Yeah. So that that is the thread of being understood and to understand what it is that's being said. And we're working today with speech communications. Anybody knows the difference between speech communications and written communications? Anybody wants to weigh in on that? What's the difference between speaking communications and written communications?
Okay, is there anyone who would like to share as we take a couple minutes? Anyone who's ready to share? I see Zakia said audio, audible, and visual.
Yes.
Only response so far. Zakia, do you want to have a conversation with Sister Claudette?
Certainly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings.
Good morning, sister.
Pardon my morning voice.
It sounds beautiful. I don't know why we need to pardon you for that.
Yes, the difference between speech and written is speaking you're hearing and written you're seeing.
Okay, yes, absolutely right. You may wonder, why she asked me such a question? Well, in a written, thank you for sharing, sis. In written communications, you can get to go back. I have this book here, right? And it's written and I can go back to it several times. In speech communications, often, well, nowadays we can record it and we can replay, but if you're having a conversation with someone and you're not recording it, you're just right in that moment. And you have to pay attention. You have to understand, try to understand what the speaker is saying. And we had done a presentation on this about listening skills. So you want to figure out how you're going to listen, how, what are you listening for? Are you listening to appreciate? Are you listening to critique? Are you listening to learn something a little more? And so my hope is that today is that you're combining all of those different type of listening skills as we work through We Are the Scene. Now, how do I come up with We Are the Scene from talking about communication skills so that we can sustain our joy? May I ask for the first slide? I'm going to show you a slide and ask you, my Facebook family, my Zoom family, and welcome to anyone who just recently joined us. Uh, you're right on time. Uh, my admin team, would you please bring up that slide for me with the people in the park? Can you hear me? We Are the Scene, a speech communications model guided by our eternal qualities. And we will talk about that some more as we move through this presentation this morning. May I see the next slide, please? Wonderful. Now, I'd like you to take a look at this slide and note what you are experiencing as the person on the receiving end of this communication. What is being communicated in this image? And feel free to write it in the chat. Feel free to make any notes on your own personal space. Give me the next slide, please. Okay. What is happening here? What kind of communications? And I want to pose a question. You see the brother on the extreme right, that type of orange type outfit. The sister opposite him, she's getting ready. She's in the process of handing him a cup. They probably had a conversation. How kind were the words that were exchanged? What kind of tone they would have used in that exchange? What kind of eye contact they may have made in that exchange? How intent they were listening to each other? And what type of body movements indicated that they were listening to each other in that exchange? Right? Those are some of the things that we look at. I think it was Sister Amelia who mentioned that, you know, the nonverbal communications, the hearing, the listening, the seeing. And when you're meeting in person like that and having a conversation, even the smell, whatever essence you're wearing, you know, or not, the smell also plays a role. Now, in this virtual community, we are devoid of that particular sense, but the communications happens anyway. Reverence, yeah. And they're surrounded by fruit. How you create the environment, what's in your space, can really make a difference in how we communicate. If you walked into this park, this is in the park in Roy Wilkins Park in the borough of Queens, New York. This was a day put on by the UNIA Division 432. we were celebrating 100-year anniversary of the UNIA here in New York after the government was formed. You see the red, black, and the green flag. It was at that convention 100 years ago, 2020, that they designated the flag of the African people, that they formed the Constitution. And so we have some fruits. What type of energy would you have picked up if there was something besides fruits? Let's say there was juice. Let's say there was alcohol. Let's say there was clothing stacked there. The next slide, please. The scene. Here's another scene. What is being communicated here? What is the mode of communication? Right? We talked about speech, the voice, but here we communicate also by drumming. Remember, our ancestors did it, and there are many communities, both on the African continent and in the diaspora, that communicate by drumming. I remembered when I was in Ghana, I think the first or second night I was in Ghana many years ago, we heard this drumming, and a couple of my classmates and I who were there, we said, oh, we're going to follow this, the sound of the drum and see if we could locate the source. About a couple of yards away from it, we came to our senses and says, you know what, you're new to this place, have no idea where you're going, it's nighttime, but folks were communicating by the drum. That's another way we communicate. Thank you for showing those slides. I would like to go back now and take a look at any responses, brother or sisters, you think we want to bring to the fore at this time. And I'm talking about the scene because we are the scene. I am the scene. You are the scene when we're communicating, doing the interpersonal, face-to-face type of communicating. We are the scene, and how we show up is important. You got up this morning and you looked pretty for the camera. Yes, how we show up, the visual, how we speak, what words we use, what kind of fragrance or essence we want to put on that may give us an energy that may attract someone who we want to be attracted to us. Or maybe we're doing it just for ourselves because we like that particular fragrance.
Well, Claudette, we have a lot of responses. The chat was active with sharing when you were show one of your scenes. And for the first scene, um, going back to the comments here, I see Terry Ruffin, who mentioned Black Pride and Gathering for your
Mhm.
first scene.
Right?
Um, Cassie,
And that's just a minute, John. That's an energy. How do we present ourselves in our clothing? If they were there in, yeah. And so we send messages to people by the way we dress, and it may or may not be the message you intended. We have no control over that. But if you're stepping in the power of yourself and your authenticity, I'm aware this morning that I was not going to put on a bikini and come to present before you, hmm? For example.
let's see. Our next comment comes from Cassie, who says, "Transitioning of life with culture." And
Okay.
G.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's interesting. I would love to call on someone to interpret that verbally, communicate that to us verbally, what they saw. Uh, but before we do that, let's go to one other comment who says Cherie, who says it appears to be a cultural reverence.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah. So let's see. either Sherry, Terry, or Cassie, would you guys like to unmute ice and share a little bit more regarding your comment of what you saw in that first slide? Now, everybody don't jump on at the same time. Do we have a voice? Either one of you would like to come on?
Terry is here.
Hi, sister.
Good morning. I was multitasking.
All right. Glad you're with us.
I fall in love whenever I see uh, the colors put together in a way that represents the motherland. So as soon as I saw that, a sense of pride just came over me. You know, that was the permeating thing that communicated and stepped out to me from the whole scene. Um, I knew that there was a gathering because you saw people gathered around. I wasn't quite sure what type of gathering that it was. So I could have, especially I'm noticing that what's going on in the world around you can have a very serious impact on how you interpret a scene. For instance, had we not had so much racial turmoil going on right now, I might have assumed that the gathering was more of a peaceful social a partying type of gathering. With the racial turmoil that's going on, I kind of paused in my head because I was like, is this a response to some type of unrest um, that may be going on where folks are trying to communicate? And I am complete.
It's interesting that you say that. Thank you for sharing, because this was in 2020, amidst all the Black Lives Matters movement, amidst all the folks being killed, the African men and women, brothers and sisters being murdered here in the United States by the police. But it was a celebratory event because we were celebrating 100 years of Marcus Garvey's leadership and all of the other Garveyites who worked with him. We were celebrating the legacy and the black print that he laid for us as a government. So amidst all the turmoil, there is still some celebration and hope and building a strategy around how do we continue to uplift ourselves as a people of Africans at home and abroad. I thank you for sharing and those insights you brought to me. I want to ask you something now as we move into another level of this communication skills, interpersonal skills, and showing up as we are the seen. How how do you feel, or what do you think of, how does what you feel and what you think about yourself affect how you communicate? I want you to hold that for a while. The question is, and these questions are placed in the chat, how does how you feel and or think about yourself affect how you communicate? Make those notes. We're not ready for them in the chat just as yet. We will get to them. Yeah. Here is what I would like to share with you. We have in us, we are innately peaceful people. We're at peace. We're innately joyful people. We have some innate qualities that over the years, life has thrown some shade at it. Life has thrown some weeds at it, and they've become covered up. And so it is important, it's my opinion, it's important for us to reclaim our peace and our joy and our love as we communicate, whether we're initiating or we're responding, replying. Because at the end of the day, it's really about you, it's about me. How do we negotiate our communications to sustain our joy as we seek to understand and seek to be understood? You know, I wrote this book and published it in 2005. The title is Nurturing the Garden of Joy, Provocative Essays on Relationships. And I would encourage you to read it. There are about 30 or so essays in there. And they invite the readers to take a look at themselves, to take a look at ourselves. You know, they say, you write about what you want to learn about or what you're growing with. And I endorse that because this applied to me here as I wrote these essays and as I kind of grew to understand how I was relating with my family, with my colleagues in the workplace, with my friends. And until, I believe, we can reclaim our peace and our joy, the struggle, the tension in our communications and how we are attached to the outcome can be painful. And I imagine there is a space for pain as we grow, but it doesn't have to be deep, it doesn't have to be long, and it doesn't have to be endurable. So my sisters and my brother, who are my admin, I will ask you to bring that slide up that speaks about energy. And when you bring that slide up, I will read from that slide and talk a little bit more about our inner being. Now, this slide, A Gift for the Soul, put out by the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization, it says, I am energy, energy that manifests itself in thoughts, words, and actions, moved by what I feel in my heart. I always choose to use this energy in a positive way and incline my heart towards it over and over again. When the energy that emanates from my being is positive, it always brings a good response from life and others. I'd like you to ponder that. I am energy. Energy that manifests itself in thoughts, words, and actions, moved by what I feel in my heart. I think there's a heart-mind connection. And peace is an energy. Love is an energy. And when we feel those in our hearts and we feel that in our mind, it becomes our thoughts and it becomes our words and ultimately our actions. Now, somewhere between the thoughts and we can shift our thoughts. We have that ability. We can shift our words. We have that ability. We can shift our actions. We have that ability. So how do I, and you would want to ask yourself that question, how do I shift and try to maintain my energy of peace and love and joy as I communicate with myself, as I communicate with the other? It is my premise that we can sustain our joy throughout it all, no matter what shows up. And if I don't always choose to use this energy in a positive way, my hope is that we will pay attention and be intentional about choosing to use our energy in a positive way. I'd like to posit to you that if we're not attached to the outcome of our communications, it can uplift the sustainability of our inner joy and our inner peace. If we're not trying to manage and control people to see it our way, I posit that's a way to help us maintain our joy and our inner peace. And so I'd like to take a couple of seconds, maybe a couple of minutes even, to hear from you what you're thinking at this time. If you will write that in the chat, we'll take a few minutes to ponder how I am the scene. How do I show up as the scene? How do I show up as being joyful? Doesn't mean you're laughing all the time. How do you show up being peaceful? How do you know when you're at peace and when you're not? And how do you get back there? How do you show up as loving? That's the you, conversation with the you. How do I show up as my loving self? We'd like to hear from you in the chat. Brother John Carl, Sister
Yeah.
Charmaine, anyone from Facebook has any comments that you would like to share with us?
Yes, good morning again. I say good morning again because I feel like I'm brand new entering this space again with the just the serenity and the peace and love, like those words resonate as you share them this morning. And as I read that poem, it resonated very deeply, remind me of my first form of communication, which is energy. And I have a communication challenge. I don't hear very well. Um, Problem when I speak my words, sometimes I'm communicating my words, and then determine some of the words I hear. It's a challenge for me.
Mm.
And I didn't discover this too late in my life. So what I discovered after I discovered I had this challenge, I discovered that I was using a different form of communication for quite a while. It is intuitive and reading and understanding people's energy. Energy speak louder than words. I'm sure you've heard that before. But uh, energy, how someone's auras feel when they show up in a room. These are things that I've always taken notice of, but never really realized what I was doing because I didn't know I was different. I just figured this was the way for everyone. Now that I look back in my life, I can now tap back into those forms of communication intentionally, deliberately, and use them as I move forward. And my message is very similar to yours. Energy flows where attention goes. So
All right.
when you pay attention to the love and the peace and the serenity that surrounds you in your being, the way you interact and communicate is so different.
Yes.
So I love, love, love this.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, Brother John Carl.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm gonna have Charmaine. We haven't heard much from Facebook, so I'm gonna have Charmaine bring her voice in and see what's going on there in Facebook land at our Wu family and community there in Facebook.
Okay, so Veronica on Facebook, she's saying, I show up as my loving self when I am truthful, thoughtful, and appreciative of the time and space I have been spiritually placed. That's the response to question 5. She also shared about when you brought up the slides with the different scenes. She also shared that the flag gives a clue to what type of activity is happening. Also, the clothing denotes its cultural experience. Laura Joseph, she shared that people are participating and watching an event. And then Veronica also said that what she got from looking at the scenes or looking at the slides is Black Liberation Flag. And I am complete.
Thank you so much for sharing. Sister Nija, Sister Charmaine, Brother John Carl, and all the brothers and sisters who have typed in the chat or typed on Facebook. So there's a takeaway that I'd like you to remember. Stay in your peace, stay in your joy, stay in your love, show up. Show up that way, regardless of what the other is doing. You've got to maintain your center, right? Because we are innately that, we are that. We're going to go back to remembering that that's what that is. And that's who we are. I'm not Claudette Joy Spence. That's the name that was given to me. But I am peace and I'm love and I'm joy and I'm so many other wonderful eternal qualities that help to shape how I communicate. It helps to shape my scene. How do I show up? Now, people may not always receive you the way you think you're showing up. That's a different conversation. But you have control over yourself. And I would encourage you to be that, the best of that. Keep working at it until you can claim, yeah, I'm the best piece in the room. So
Claudette, let me just read a couple of shares that are in the chat.
sure.
In response to your last question, and then we have a couple of hands raised, so you can let
Sure.
us know how
Sure.
you'd like to move forward. So Amal says, it takes mastery, realizing that we are co-creators with the all. Our world is created by our experience of it. And then she says, we can pause a moment and then change our minds about. Safia shares when she
Indeed, indeed. May I come in? Indeed, we can pause. Important. Before we have the thought, right? And then maybe there are words, and words can be considered actions, you know, depending. And then there's the physical. So when the thought comes, as we process it and connect with the powerful energy around us, we can change that, shift that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, sis.
Sure. And then we have two more shares in the chat. Safia says when she is at peace, she feels happy, calm, accomplished. And when she shows love, she shows them with words most of the time. This week, she's been struggling with showing up at peace, especially at work, because of the heartbreak and racial hatred highlighted this week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we lift up some energies for the removal of pain and suffering and replacement of peace. And we must continue to send the energy of peace. One of the things the Brahma Kumaris teaches is take no suffering and give no suffering. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. Are there any other comments before we move into the next section?
Sure, there are some more comments that dropped in while I was speaking, but let me just share this other comment that I was going to share before those others popped up from Z, and then you can let us know where you want to go. So Z says, pondering the ways where she shows up and how she shows up. She says, I am love. I engage everything from a place of love, even things I don't like very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yes.
You know, to be able to identify that you don't like this, but you're still going to work on bringing love into the space. That is deep. Thank you for sharing, sis.
Yes. So it is 7:49.
Yes.
I know you had some activities that you mentioned before we went live, and we do have two hands raised. Where do you want to go right now?
Let's respond to the people who have raised those hands, and
Okay.
then we will go into the next activity.
Okay, perfect. So Teresa had her hand raised first. So Teresa, if you'll unmute and share, and then when she is done, Mama Amal, you can then share.
Hi, peace and blessing. Good morning, fam. This is a great conversation. One of the things that I've been doing with, like, say if you say something to me that I don't like, I might get upset at first, but then later on, if I can't communicate or express what I want, what I want the person to understand about me, I'll just say, Spirit, like, what are you trying to say to me? Like, what's the message that you're trying to say to me so I can get an understanding? Because what I've learned is that sometimes this thing that you don't like about a person, to me, is the same thing that's in you. So
Uh,
it's like a mirror to you when someone says it does something that doesn't communicate
yes.
understanding. And the other thing what I saw about the first picture was that I felt like the little girl with the pink was the odd person. Everybody else had on, was unified and together, and she was odd person. And sometimes I felt like the odd person, but what I got from is that I'm okay being an odd person. So, that was a good thing for me. And I'm complete.
My sister, thank you for sharing those cowrie shells of wisdom. Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad she said that too. Just this past week, I, ex- I experienced that. I am on a trajectory of dealing with myself masterfully. And I was doing a project. A person didn't show up when he said he was going, when I felt he should have showed up. And immediately I went into the past where I'm thinking that who I am is no one is interested in what I have to say. And
Mm,
it's like a wound, you know what I mean? It really got rubbed. But like I said, I paused and I asked Spirit, okay, so what is that saying? And or which how should I proceed?
mm,
I had an opportunity to really look deep, realize that I'd gone back into the past,
mm,
asked Spirit for some help, and in meditation and speaking to some other people, I found the person who did not do what I thought he should do had death in the family.
mm.
And there was a lot going on with him. And I realized, okay, you really have to step up. But I know it's a muscle. It's a muscle that that I am building to be able to not immediately go back to the past, what
Mm.
happened, but to actually stand uh, in love and in understanding of how people are responding to me. So I am complete. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, my sister. Some more cowrie shells of wisdom. Staying in the moment, giving the person the benefit of doubt, processing. And I'm almost sure that didn't take you a whole day to process this, right? It happens very quickly how we shift our thoughts and show up in the scene as a scene of love and peace and joy and understanding. I want to take you into another activity here. I will be asking you to go into breakout rooms. My fantastic admin team will help us with that. I have an activity, a scenario that I'm sharing with you. And while you're in your breakout rooms, I would like you to think about this and see how you would respond. Here is what the activity says. We'll place it in the chat. You have been employed by an agency for 5 years. Your annual performance reviews say you are doing a very good job, one category shy of outstanding. You agree with that. 2 days before your scheduled vacation, the person to whom you report has an in-person visit with you. They tell you that their manager wants you to resign because they have lost confidence in you. They would like for you to go on vacation and not come back to work What do you do? You are the person on the receiving end of this interpersonal communications. What do you do? So I am asking that three of you be assigned to a breakout room. You will have 5 minutes to speak about it, to share what it is that you would do. And then we will come back to the main room, and we will spend some time hearing how you processed all of this. Either how you would process it now, or how you would process it if you wanted to show up as more peaceful, as more loving, as more joyful. And if those instructions are not clear, just put something in the chat box so that I can try to make them clear for you.
So before we release people to their breakout rooms, Claudette, it is 7:55, and we know that this is the time where some people have to roll off. So if you would bid them goodbye, and then we can move to the breakout room activity.
Okay, I want to thank you for joining us. It is my hope that you got something of value that you can use with you today and the days ahead. I want to thank you. I want to thank our creator. I want to thank all of my ancestors on whose shoulders I stand for this opportunity to be a part of your life. And I want to thank everyone who has touched me, that has brought me to this stage where I'm able to share with you this morning. Have a wonderful day. Have a peaceful day. Have a joyful day. And we hope you will join Wake Up Everybody tomorrow and all the days ahead, when we present opportunities for us to grow with each other and to aspire into our better self day by day.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'm going to send everyone into their room. You should go automatically. If you're prompted to go on your screen, go on ahead, and you will have 5 minutes in the room. So
If I may, just make sure everybody has an opportunity to say something to the scenario, right? Thank you.
And Claudette, for our audience on Facebook who are not in breakout rooms, we can create the dialogue here. I haven't read through the question yet, so if any of my other admins would like to encourage the conversation here based on the prompt, we can do so at the moment. And just
yeah, let's repeat it, because we know that Facebook is in this room with us. So let's repeat it, and then we can have whoever is here in this space talk out what they would do. We can all.
Thank you. Thank you, my sisters and brother. Here's a scenario. You have been employed by an agency for 5 years. Your annual performance reviews say you are doing a very good job, just one category shy of outstanding. You agree with that. 2 days before your scheduled vacation, the person to whom you report has an in-person visit with you. They tell you that their manager wants you to resign because they have lost confidence in you. They would like for you to go on vacation and not come back to work. What do you do? As the person on the receiving end of that communications in person, what do you do?
there's a lot to allude in that communication. immediately for me, my mind goes to, this is a setup.
Mm,
you know, like my company just told me that I was doing so good, But in person, 2 days before I'm supposed to leave, the person I'm responding to, you know, they show up to tell me this in person, like it kills my mood.
Mm,
Immediately kills my mood. I'm like, and I'm in a state, I personally would be in a state of confusion. I
mm,
would need clarity. I love to have, for me, communication is, especially in an opportunity like this, I like to do research and backup to, especially when I have questions, to see if what I'm hearing is confirmed by another. I
mm,
look for confirmation, whether that's energy, like the way they're saying it, and maybe if they're not authentic, if they're little pockets, like, wait, this doesn't add up. That my mind immediately brings all of those things into play before I say anything.
okay.
You know, and the next thing I'll probably say would be, thank you for bringing this information. I still haven't put it any put it through any additional filters because I have to let it resonate for a bit before I respond
Okay.
because I don't want to respond off key. And
Mm,
then because of my hearing, I'm like, I may want you to say that again. Like, wait, say that again because I might have went on a trip and I didn't hear you clearly. So yeah, that would be interesting.
all right, thank you for sharing. Is there anyone from Facebook who has, how do we manage that, sister? Anyone from Facebook who is weighing in on this, responding to this scenario?
Yes, we have Laura Clark. She responded. She says, I would hope I could communicate in a manner that would give me information as to why, and I would talk to other people, including human resources.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing
Um,
that.
Victoria Johnson, she says, as a Black woman, I would first contact my union or EEOC,
Mm,
then pray and wait for every disappointment. It is a blessing in disguise.
mm,
Maybe there is a better job out there for me. So
mm.
she's looking at it as though maybe, it's time for me to end this journey, and maybe God has me going, or spirit has me going in a different direction, which is better for me.
Yes. Thank you for
And
sharing
I
that.
So,
am complete.
Thank you for sharing that.
so the rooms will be closing in a few seconds, so people will be coming back into this space.
Okay. Wonderful. Facebook family, thank you for participating. Sister
Yes,
Laura Clark, is that the Sister Laura Clark I know?
I think so.
Great. It's wonderful that you are actively participating with us.
That was my timer.
Okay.
So while we wait for folks to come back, I see Kathy and Casey and a device named Moto is still in the space. Do we want to hear from them? Are you willing to come off of mute, either of those three names that I called, and share?
Were they in a breakout room?
They were in the room here with us.
Oh, oh.
Casey Map Ahmed,
Uh-huh.
or Kathy, or Moto E3. Are either of you willing to come off mute and share your response to the scenario? Don't see anything. Everyone else will be back momentarily. It is counting down.
You're doing a wonderful job, team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudette. All right, so it looks like people are coming back into the space. So Claudette, would you like to hear from one or two people on what they had to share about your scenario?
Sure.
All right. Who would like to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
Yes. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Greetings, Sister Claudette. Good to
Greetings,
see
Sister
you.
Laura.
Good to
Same
see
here.
you. Yes, I was with Purple. And it was so divine that Purpose says she's experiencing the same thing that you're speaking about, that your questions as she's actually experiencing the same thing. So what I came up with is that we got to trust, lean into spirit. And at this point in my life, I'm learning now to trust because spirit is what guided me to where I'm at today. And I have to continue to trust the process and to accept what I'm here to learn, what I'm here to get through my experiences, and to learn to peel the layers of pain where the gifts are all wrapped in small packages. So over the journey, I'm keep peeling these layers, keep peeling these layers. And at this point for me, I lean into flow. I lean into spirit. I surrender. So with me, and if it that scenario at this point in my life, I would let go. I would let go at this point in my life. With that, I'm complete, I share.
Thank you for sharing, sister.
Woo, 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 woo.
Learning to let go, learning to understand that it's a part of the process. And what are the lessons in here for me to learn and grow with and unpack and let it go and find, solidify my peace in that. And it's amazing. You, I think it's really challenging to let go and unpack if you're not at peace. There's a calmness you need to have within to be able to pull into the energies that Sister Laura spoke to. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else?
Yes, we have Z. You can come off mute.
Greetings. I was in a room with Sophia and Terry, and I shared that, and I was speaking from how I would respond now, and that came to me as Sophia shared something that happened to her when she was younger. Now, in this time, in the space that I'm in now, I said my initial reaction would be upset and confused. However, if I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and again, I'm speaking now because years ago I would have reacted very differently. But now I would go on my vacation and make sure I enjoyed it. And then when I came back, I would deal with the situation. I would go in and I asked for a conference, and then depending on what happened with the conference, if I needed to take legal action, I would, because that's not okay. You can't just do that, especially not in this time and space. There was a time years ago where they could do that. They could just let you go with no explanation. We can't do that now. So they couldn't just do that. If they did that, they would be up for some legal repercussions. Sophia shared something about, like I said, an experience that happened when she was in her 20s. And I don't know if she wants to share it, but it was kind of upsetting to hear it. Yeah.
I can share it really quick. What I was saying is I was demoted while I was on maternity leave. So 3 weeks after I had my son, I was in retail. And the HR called me and said, we're going to demote you to just a regular salesperson. And they gave me no explanation, no reasons why, no feedback, no how to do better. And it sat with me, and I was telling Z and Terry that I wish I had the voice that I have now to speak up, to say something, to ask more questions, but I didn't. I was really young. I didn't know what to do. What do I do? I'm out for another 6 weeks and I have to come back into a different position. What do I do? So that's what I shared with you.
Thank you for sharing, Sister Z and Sister Sophia. I we see the growth in ourselves. Sister Sophia, that experience has now prepared you for who knows what. It's planted the seed. You've done the journey, and you are in a different space. should something similar, remotely similar occur, you're in a different space to respond to it in a way that you may feel more confident. Yes? Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else from Facebook?
On Facebook, Jim shared that she was once let go from a job, and a friend said, congratulations. Looking back, it was the best thing that happened for her.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that. Is that Jem, if I got that right?
Yes, that was Jem
Uh,
McQueen. Mhm.
Sometimes in the moment, when the communications is happening, we're so attached. We're attached to something. And if we're able to release that attachment, we can clearly see that this is an opportunity for something else, for our growth, for elevation, for a connection we may not have seen. But the human in us, it's, yeah. When you first heard they want you to resign, it's like, what? But in the moment, you try to figure it out, and I've got to stay peaceful here, because in being peaceful, I'm able to think a little more clearly and be open to what, I think it was Laura who said, what spirit is telling us. What are we being guided to do? It was John Card who said much earlier towards the beginning of this presentation, to be in touch, the intuition, what's going on here. And it's really about me. How do I get what I want out of this communications? How do I let the person know that I understand what they're saying, and let the person or persons know that I want to be understood in this communications, and how we grow from it. And you're taking responsibility for your own growth, stepping in peace and kindness, because that's you, that's me, that's who we are. Are there any other?
Yes, we have Jacqueline with a hand raised who would like to share. Jacqueline, could you continue?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Jacqueline.
I was in the room with Ashley, and she shared that she had gone through the same experience, and she went and she used it as an opportunity to start her own business, which I thought was wonderful. And I shared with her that, recently, just before I retired from teaching, I had a situation at my job that could have cost me my pension, and it was behind a lie. So I was very upset for several days, and then I they had me on a string for like 4 or 5 months before they released me from this tension that, this thing hanging over my head that I could possibly lose my job. And it was based on a lie, and it was really upsetting. So my response was, I'm getting a lawyer. I'm going to go after the person who accused me, and we're going to go, and I'm going to take this all the way through a hearing. Well, when I returned to teach in September, they're like, oh, you can go back in the classroom. Just forget about it. It was a misunderstanding. After all of those months of stress that they put me through, and I really did consider, because I had health issues, suing. But I said, you know what? I'm about to retire. I put in my retirement. I had, they offered me money to retire on time. And even though I stayed an extra year, they approved it because they knew that they were wrong. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because my health is better. My emotional health, everything is better. And so I walked away from that, and I was able to get that nasty taste out of my mouth after several months. It took a while. So the Woo community helped me with that, because I was going through it while I was part of the Woo community, and nobody really knew because I didn't share that. But it was something that was on my heart for a while. And my other daughter, I know Purple is having her issues, and the youngest one, she got laid off the same kind of way. She had all these great evaluations, and then they tell her, oh, your personality doesn't fit with the rest of us, and this and that. And so she was very upset, but everything that she's had since that point has been nothing but a blessing. So when one door closes, a window, a chimney, I don't care what it is, it open up and you're out.
Did you say a chimney or a chimney?
Chimney, a chimney,
Yes.
whatever it is, a shovel, push me out. And I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Sister Jacqueline. You know, in the moment, I mean, yeah, yeah. And so they're all lessons that we're learning, yeah, about how we communicate. I mean, there's so many different ways, Sister Jacqueline, you could have handled that situation on the job. Go tell the people off, you know, throw a fit, and then they really would have had you because you're doing something that is not really acceptable in the
Yeah,
workplace.
slash a tire.
There's no peace in that. There may be some joy in it, but it's not eternal joy, right?
I thought about it. I really did. I thought about it. I was like, I thought, though, I thought.
Yeah. You see, and so you, in a more peaceful and I would say sensible moment, shifted those thoughts before they manifested into actions. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It helped that my cousin was security at the school and he came and he took me outside.
Thank you, thank you. My admin team, are there any other raised hands or questions from Facebook or from the chat that we can look into?
Yes, I can share from Facebook. Benji B, she says, at first, I would ground myself in terms of my emotions because while it may be divine intervention, I also need to use my voice to speak up for myself. I would ask for the reasoning behind the manager's request, especially given that performance evaluations were positive. That little thing could not suddenly be so grand. What of the coaching that is part of evaluations to fill gaps? It may very well be spirit speaking and a blessing in disguise, but I would explore getting that explanation and or severance. Either way, the confidence alone is to question would be a good vehicle to have you to the next chapter. Sometimes spirit may also be challenging you to show up for yourself. It's a balance.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that. Words of wisdom. Thank you.
And I can share for myself, in 2012, I had an incident working at law enforcement where I too was lied upon. I was very, very vocal. I didn't, anything that was not sitting right, especially in law enforcement, you see the racial differences between white and black, and I would speak up. And so that I was like a thorn in their side. So I got set up and was asked to stay home. I was not escorted off, but was asked to stay home. And the eventually was like about within a week after the investigations, they said, you know, you're an excellent officer. You know, if you're not doing the job, if you don't make a mistake, then that tells me you're not working hard. When you're working hard, you make mistakes. So I'm like, well, okay, so if I'm working hard and I make a mistake, why you know, going to the extent of terminating me? But it's okay. So they did. And it was in hindsight, it was a good because a couple of weeks later, I ended up getting terminally ill. And so I needed, and the handwriting was on the wall for me. I knew I needed to go, but out of being afraid to step out of my comfort zone is why this happened. So again, it was a blessing in disguise because I may have collapsed on the job. You just never know. I may have collapsed in the cell with the inmates. We just never know. So I look at it as I look at it in a form as beauty in a way that I did get terminated because about 2 or 3 weeks later is when I got ill, and I was able to, you know, go to a hospital and have myself checked and, you know, get back to who I am today. And I am complete.
Thank you, Sister Charmaine, for sharing that. You know, I'm amazed about the number of people who have shared that they've had experience similar to what's shared in this scenario. And that scenario is taken from my life. I was the person who was visited and asked to resign. one of the things that was happening for me, as I recall, as this person was talking to me, that I knew. I knew I had been doing a wonderful job. I knew I everything was good. This was throwing the shade of no confidence. So I asked some more, what do you mean no confidence? Yes, I asked some more questions. And repeat that. And when do you want me to resign? Yeah, yeah. John Carl, am I hearing this clearly? You know? Ah. But I remembered being calm because I knew that my work spoke for me. I knew the community that surrounded me. Not only did they like me, but they liked the work that I was doing. Huh? And so in my calmness, I said, they had come to get my resignation then and there, it turned out. And I said, let me think about it. I'll let you know tomorrow. And the person said yes. And in that moment, I knew I was victorious, whatever that victory is. And so what I did after they left the office, I called my board, some key members on my board, and told them about the conversation. And they said, Miss Spence, you leave this to us. But I was glad that I didn't start crying. I was glad I didn't tell the person off. And indeed, other opportunities opened. I didn't think about it as other opportunities opening. I thought about like, how can you, of all the good work and good relationships I have in this community, how do you want me to just go away and not come back like a thief in the night? It's not going to happen. Those were the conversations I was having in my head. But when you think you're the only one with an experience, once we begin to talk, you realize that there are others that share similar experiences, and I want to thank you for sharing. So we are the scene. I'm not sure in that conversation with the person to whom I reported, how he was perceiving me, what kind of scene he was seeing in front of him. But it's important that I maintain my inner calm and be aware of how I'm communicating and how I am showing up as I define how I want to show up. Are we good? All right, we are moving towards closing our session. Unless my admin team, if there are any burning questions in the chat or any burning questions from Facebook, I would like to ask a few more questions. Are there any burning questions? Anyone?
I don't see any in the chat.
Okay.
Yes, hi, this is Teresa. I just want to thank you for this conversation because my problem with people is communicating. And so it's going to help me. This tool is going to help me do better because sometimes I do get angry. I'll be ready to cuss them out and all that kind of stuff. And I do, I'll be honest. And so I need to use different ways to do it. Even with saying, like, what's the message? Even though I do say those things, but there's times when I have not responded really nice. And I got very angry and I took it personally. And sometimes it really isn't about me. So I just want to thank you for this conversation because, and what Ms. Laura said, that's why I was saying woo woo, because it's like her words hit my spirit so much that it just, I had to scream it out. Thank you, Ms. Claudette, for the love and everyone who shared. It was awesome.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you for your love. So here is what I'd like to ask each of you. And I'd like you to write this in the chat for us. What have you heard here today that you will apply? And I know this will be written in the chat. What have you heard here today that you will apply? The next question is, what qualities, peace, truth, contentment, non-attachment to outcome, non-possessive, non-controlling love, kindness. Which of those qualities do you or can you bring to your speech communications? What eternal qualities like peace and truth, contentment, non-attachment to an outcome, and a love that is non-possessive and non-controlling? What kind of kindness can you bring to your speech communications, to your scene? Which of those will you bring to your scene? And I'll give you a few minutes to either type that in the chat or in Facebook. If you're on Facebook, we would like to hear your voice also. So my admin team will help me with the responses to that as they receive them.
As those responses are coming in, we have Terry who had her hand raised, and I'd like to ask Terry if she's still willing to share.
Thank you, Brother John.
Sure, I am. This is so appropriate. This conversation is so timely. I'm ending my career within a few years, and the whole racial inequality and disparity has again raised its ugly head. And I learned that, and you have to forgive me if I get a little emotional.
Take your time, sis. Take your time.
I learned that I'm a child of the Creator, and He will take care of me. And I learned to don't react right away. Lean on Him. Think and reflect, and let Him be my voice. And He was, because I was one to stuff things and walk around with it and then blow up. And I learned a very important thing, that a story is as effective as the point that people begin to tell it. If I tell you that I beat you and then you retaliate, if I tell someone that I was beaten and then I retaliated, people have a different perception than when they just say, well, she just retaliated. So I learned the very importance of not blowing up, because then what happened is the focus shifted away from the injustices that was being put upon me to how I reacted to the injustices. So I am so grateful to this conversation. I am so grateful to this community, because I did speak my truth, and I spoke it in such a professional, loving, kind, from a place of joy, that they had to listen to me. And they backed off of me. And I just want to say thank you to you for this conversation, to give me an opportunity to express myself to my Wu family, to just thank you. You all don't know what a blessing you have been in my life. I am so grateful, and I am complete.
Thank you, Sister Terry, for sharing. Peace, love, and all the wonderful eternal gifts that are you.
Ashe. Ashe. Terry, thank you for your tears of libation, as we say here in the Woo community. Thank you so much, sis. So, Claudette, what would you like to do now? How would you like to pivot or move forward?
Well, I would like to really thank everyone for participating. You know, I want to remind everyone that I'm thanking my creator for this opportunity to be in service. I am thanking all of my ancestors for having paved the way for me to be here. I'm thanking all the people who have been in my life to prepare me for this. And I'm thanking Wu, the Wu family, all of you, and everyone gathered. And if you're not yet a part of the Wu family, I'm going to encourage you to participate. Think on that and see where you're being guided to participate. Because of the depth and the breadth and the energies around the conversations we've had this morning, I would like to extend an offer to two people to engage with me after this for up to 1 hour to continue the conversation at no out-of-pocket expense to them. This is a part of the gift and the service I'm sharing this morning. And so if my admin team, which I must bless up, John Carl, Charmaine, and Nigel, thank you so much. If you will just continue to work with me through this, there's an offer that I am making to our community for two people.
Yes. Claudette, you when we started this morning, you picked two numbers, and those numbers were 8 and 12. And as I look at the lineup here, number 8 is Laura Clark.
What? I say that because she also was the winner the last time I presented.
I'm sorry.
I said Laura.
She was
Laura
winning the last time.
Yeah.
Laura, could you come off mute and share with us if you would like to accept this offer? And
I accept, but since I got a session with Sister Claudette before, which has helped me immensely, I would like to give Kathy because Kathy asked for it. And I'm always in conversation with Sister Claudette. So I really would like to give Sister Kathy, who did ask for it.
awesome. What a blessing this morning. Kathy, could you come off mute and let us know you accept?
Is it the Kathy that needs it, like me? Am I the Kathy?
Did you ask for it, Kathy?
I did. I did. Oh, thank you with love and hugs. Thank you so much.
This is so
I do accept. I do accept. I accept.
All right.
Awesome. What a blessing. I love the energy of giving and receiving. That's also a beautiful area of communication, giving and receiving, just gifts, even if that's smile. Number number 12. Number 12 is Sister Safia Townsley. Would you come off mute and let us know you accept?
Really? Wow. That's 2 days in a row. What's happening this week? I will accept. However, well, we'll talk about that offline. I'll accept.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What I'll do now is pull up your closing slides, your articles, and I've shared that in the chat, but I also will share your contact information and you can walk us through that.
Brother John Carl, before you pull that up, I had asked a question about what qualities they would be taking with them. Can you mention one or two, please, so that the entire community hears something that was shared?
Nigel, if you don't mind, could you pull that out of the chat, please?
Thank you.
Sure, let me scroll back up because there were some responses.
Or we can always have voices come in and share.
All right. Kathy says, I can and will bring non-attachments.
Mhm,
Jacqueline shares she's going to bring contentment.
mhm,
And she continues, as I am confident in who I am and whose I am. I know my value.
mhm,
Teresa Scott says all of that, but non-attachment is her special sauce.
mhm, mhm.
Jem on Facebook says she's going to bring peace, calm, and confidence to her conversations. And she added, don't be hasty.
Mhm,
Laura
mhm,
Clark also said she's bringing non-attachment to outcome and non-controlling love.
mhm.
Adam shares he's able to put creativity first before people, and he's willing to be non-possessive in all his relationships, being as though I'm in the swinger lifestyle, which is another story. Okay. Laura Joseph from Facebook says she learned how important it is to keep her peace no matter what the circumstances. She can bring truth to conversations, especially when there's conflict, with the understanding that her truth is not the truth, but one of many.
Mhm. Thank you so
Cherie or Sheree says this conversation is confirmation for me today. Today is someday. Today I will communicate and connect with my father after more than a decade.
much. Praise,
Okay.
praise.
On Facebook, Karen says, don't be attached. She will bring clarity, non-judgment, and presence.
Mhm.
And then, and I believe we are complete with the responses to that question on Facebook.
Thank you so very much for
Yeah.
sharing. Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations to the winners. May you move forward in peace and power and strength and confidence and non-attachment and all the things. My sister, best wishes to you in rekindling a loving, kind relationship with your father. And
Good
brother,
morning. Can I jump in for a second before Claudette goes?
go ahead.
Good morning, Claudette. This is Shauna.
Good morning, Sister Shauna. How are you?
I am well. So I was on Facebook land, but came over this way just to come and say once again, thank you for when I got laid off and I entered your program. And it helped me build my confidence and gave me a sense of purpose when I didn't know what to do after being laid off for the first time. And the program really helped, and bonding with the other women that were in the program. And then just being able to step out after the tools that you gave to us and go back out into the world and navigate myself in finding employment, and furthering getting certifications and other things. And just the fact that you were not only the teacher, but mentoring us as well was just, I'm in gratitude. And now that I'm still at my second job for over 6 years, I just have to say thank you for that, because without having you share and provide us that mentorship, I don't know where I would have been in terms of how do I move forward. So I am grateful. And from that experience, it was also just learning to be humble, as you were mentioning, and taken in as you're being told, being laid off. And so now what I got from this from today was just being able to stay calm, because the calmness definitely did give you hindsight on how to get moving forward, not to get too emotional in the moment and just accept, because at the end of the day, it's control. You know, you're in control of your own destiny. Someone else is not. That's what I came to realize after. And then something else that I got shared by someone else was just, you know, a business is basically almost an investment. You went into an agreement, you signed an agreement that they're my investors in paying me, and I was going to produce a job. And that, just like investment agreement, at some point it comes to an end. And it just means that now I have to go find a new investor. So just thank you for today. And I'm complete. And thank you again for everything you've done for me.
Sister Shauna, thank you so much for your kind words. May God continue to guide your steps. May you realize that, yeah, our ancestors, the creator, the greater energy is with us. Thank you for reminding us that things change. Yeah, we're here for this assignment, and that too will come to an end at some point. And the ease with which we flow into the next assignment will be guided by the peace and the calm we bring to it. It was Sister Shauna who introduced me to Wake Up Everybody community. And thank you so much for the introduction, Sister Shauna.
Very welcome.
So, John Carl, we're back to the offer. Congratulations to the sisters who have, whose numbers were called to the offer. But know that I'm available. Here's my contact information on Instagram at C Solutions Infinity, on Twitter at Claudette Joy 2, that's the numeral 2. By email, csolutionsinfinity@yahoo.com, and the website, csolutionsinfinity.wixsite.com/sustainable joy. That's how you may reach me. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And here we have shared so much this morning. Oh my gosh, the energy has been great, wonderful, kind, loving, cathartic, elevating. And here comes the time now for us to share love offerings and donations. If you would be kind enough, be generous enough to exchange some monetary energies. You know, we're doing the back and forth by Zelle and QuickPay. You can make a love offering that will be shared among my awesome admin team at sowleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, and it's on the screen. We will also put that in the chat box. For people on Facebook, it's sowleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com if you're using Zelle or QuickPay. If you're using Cash App, it's the $ Spirit of a Woman, and the spirit is an uppercase S. And then there is the link for Spirit of a Woman that's on the screen. And you please use code numeral or the hashtag sign 305 uppercase C uppercase S. All right, code is the hashtag sign or the number sign numeral 305, and then the letters uppercase C uppercase S. We're looking forward to hearing from you through these media and giving thanks in advance for your kindness and your generosity. Now, join us on Sunday, April 18th, coming up here in Woo Community, Sunday, April 18, 2021, for the topic From Chaos to Order, being facilitated by Xavier Beckwith. You don't want to miss it. From Chaos to Order. Yeah, I'm sure there's some chaos going on in some part of our lives. Hope to see you on Sunday. And we are inviting Brother John Carr, Sister Nigel, Sister Charmaine.
Yes, I'll take it from here, Claudette. I was talking, I thought I was off mute. um, yes, we would like to welcome everyone to the Woo community, our Woo Nation. And you did such a great job in letting us know the values of what you can receive here this morning, the value of communication, the value of love and cultivating peace in your being. This is what we do here. We choose to awaken, transform, and ascend. And that's what we do here. And this is all the tools you can use to take with you on this journey. Join us, family. If you're here for the first time, please share in the chat. Let us know that you're a new member. If you are just warming up to the community, let us know you're here. Let us know that you're willing to become part of this community. You can join us 5 days a week, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for a 90-minute session like today. Sometimes it gets so juicy and so lovely, and we go over a little bit. And on Monday and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. That's our 30-minute session. And again, be prepared for a little bit of extension because that happens here. And we're always streaming live on Facebook. You can also register with us where you can get updates and invitations to our upcoming presenters. And you can do that at bit.ly/wake up movement. Again, here you can Snapchat our schedule, our 90 minutes, and our 30-minute sessions. Family, show your love, show the energy you have and who you are being, what your scene will look like when you show up in the scene. Bring that energy, bring that Woo flavor with you, the flavor of the Woo Nation, Woo swag. Find us at bit.ly/Woo swag. You can get a sweatshirt and mug, masks, t-shirts, and again, we are developing other products in our Woo swag collection. We want to thank you so very much for joining us. And again, here are some links that you can join us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and find us an email. So on Facebook, bit.ly/Woo community. That will take you straight to our link. On Instagram, at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. We're active there. And on YouTube, bit.ly Woo on YouTube. Register with us. You can find this at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And today is Thursday. Today is the day we invite members of the community who are, whether you're new or whether you've been here for a while, we encourage you to join us, join our admin team. And today we are asking you to reach out to us at one of these links here. You can reach us at. We will not be having a regular scheduled session where people come in and get the information right away. So just email us. And you've got the links. Now, family, this is where we reciprocate that love. We share our love with Sister Claudette for her wonderful, amazing, and memorable presentation. And it's something to remember. We have to take these tools with us. So let's thank Claudette with our love shower here on Woo. Thank you so much, family. Unmute yourselves and let's
Thank you.
mode.
Thank you, Claudette,
you.
for the great
Thank you,
work.
my sister.
Thank you so
Very, very,
much.
very
Thank you, Claudette.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much,
beautiful
Claudette.
Thank
So
you for sharing such
powerful. So
beautiful words
presentation.
with us.
Thank you for
So
leaving your
Like I
nurturing.
always
pearls.
say,
Laura,
let's
your
move
words
forward,
were
Wise.
everybody.
powerful.
Appreciate
Thank you,
everyone. Thank you
everyone.
so much, Claudette. Love you.
Morning.
Thank
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This was
Thank
wonderful.
you, Miss Louise,
Yes.
Thank you.
Charmaine,
Thank
This
you,
is
Everybody.
a spiritual
everyone. Thank
journey.
you, Miss.
Laura,
Thank
And
you,
let's move forward,
Claudette.
everybody.
Adam, who else is here? Nigel,
Special thank you
Cecilia,
from Terry. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
thank you.
you, Terry. That was awesome. Alfred, Miss Deborah. Thank
Hi,
you,
Sister Teresa.
Hi, baby.
Mama Teresa.
I love y'all family so much. Thank y'all for your gift. Thank you, Sister Jane, for being our trailblazer here. You know, talking about how you just came back and kicked back. I just love these stories. It blessed me so much today.
Thank you. And I thank you for Sister Claudette giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, everyone have a blessed, happy, peace-filled, joyful weekend.
All
Love
right.
y'all.
Yes,
Love
ma'am.
y'all.
You all
Yeah,
too.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank
Dance
you.
and enjoy. Yes.
All right. See you all Sunday.